who showed up over the weekend to kick Tommy Jordan back in. Shlomo and Hama wanted Tommy Jordan out. Oh wait, it was a Tommy Jordan. Oh yeah, and then we can't let Neil win. Gave me money to get him back. Tristan Denny, Chad can't riff. Johnny Batchelor, fuck you. Mike McGinnis, Stokely, Minnesota Nice, Adamicus Finch, and Karmix X. Karmix X, how's he get money for that? Anyway, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? Patrick did a 10-hour show yesterday. And now he's doing another show today. He's already 2 hours in. It's called All the Dabble News That's Fit to Play. So what's happening? Why is Patrick doing so many shows? I know he took a week off after Thanksgiving. But why is Patrick doing so many shows? I wonder. Is Patrick a little broke? Is he Gino Bisconte broke? I doubt it. I doubt it. But I checked with a source today because, you know, Goldfold had a lot of questions about Melton because Melton's not on. Anyway, whatever site it was, Goldfold was on, homes.com or something like that, some website like that. He said Melton wasn't on it. And then I guess, again, I didn't watch the whole show on Saturday when Melton was live. Again, Melton did a Saturday show. He never does Saturday show. So I was like, I didn't really cover it. I covered some of it. And then Addicted to Profits, we wanted to come on with Little Mir. I was like, well, let's have him come on during the week or whatever. Because by that time, it was late. And I didn't really want to keep doing the show. But Mel did 10 hours yesterday, and yet he's doing another show today. So I did some investigating. And so I know a real estate guy who's a Dabbleverse guy, just like I know a lawyer guy who's a Dabbleverse guy. So I asked the lawyer guy questions. And I asked the Dabble guy questions. I mean, a real estate guy question. I said, can Melton be on the deed? I said, can Melton be on the deed with his wife if he didn't put any money up? This is my text. Can Melton be on the deed with his wife if he didn't put any money up? And my source, who's a real estate guy, said yes. So my question is, can Melton be on the deed with his wife if he didn't put any money up? Yes. Why would he be on the deed? This is me asking. Why would he be on the deed? Because they're married or because he was also responsible for the mortgage? Because when you buy a house, you put money down usually. Unless you're Tim's Totality. You usually put money down. 20% is standard. So you put 20% down. And then you have a mortgage. So in theory, Melton could be, have no money for the down payment. His fat wife had to put up the whole down payment. And then he's like, I'll help you out with the mortgage. So I said, why would he be on the deed? Because they're married or because he was also responsible for the mortgage? My source said marriage is usually reason number one. And then he continued, if there was a mortgage and he was responsible, that would be another reason to be on the deed. I said, but he could be on the deed and have no financial responsibility or liability. And my source said, yes. So again, it's tricky when it comes to, it's like Stutter and John. Again, these guys are all lawyers. These guys are all losers. So you have to work from that premise that they're all losers. And so Melton probably has no money. I know Addicted to Profits. Addicted to Profits, you obviously have my number since he texted me on Sunday, which is my favorite day to get texts. If you want to text me like whatchamacallit did. She texted me, sent me 10 texts Ashley Cummings, Whitney Cummings' cunt sister Ashley sent me 10 texts on a Sunday. And Mr. Color Everything sent me a Venmo request on a Sunday. So I like to do all my work. I like to do all my financial work on Sunday. Anyway, so Addicted to Profits, you have my number. So if you want to call me up, I'm not going to have you on just yet. I don't want to make a big he said, she said. I'd rather just have a quick phone call about it. Because apparently he has information on Melton's deed or whatever happened with the. So the bottom line is, if you're a bank and you're giving a loan to somebody, it's always best if, listen, if Melton's wife, maybe she has some money because she's probably fat and white. And fat white women usually have money because, they don't get a lot of dates. So they become Karens usually and focus on their career. Maybe they are an office manager or something like that. So, and they figure they're going to be alone forever. So what they do is they usually save up their money so they can at least buy a home. So at least they have some equity because no man's going to rescue them. So then Melton shows up with his hunchback. And then she's like, you want to buy a house with me? And he's like, okay, but I don't have any money. And she's like, that's okay, I have money. And so the bank, since they're married, allegedly, so the bank's probably like, you have a husband? They want other people on the mortgage, is my guess. Because, if something happens to the wife, they want other people responsible. So he probably doesn't have any money. He probably still doesn't have any money. That's why he's not on whatever Goldfall looked up, homes.com, whatever the site was. And he was like, yeah, Melton, you're not on the deed. And he's like, well, I was there and I would sign a lot of stuff. So responsible. Because if something happens to Melton's hunchback wife, the bank wants somebody else to go for. So if you're married, they usually want the wife just involved because, financially, the husband and wife are kind of linked forever. So that's just the way it goes. So I don't put my wife on everything, but I'm assuming if something happens to me, they'll come looking for my wife. You know what I mean? So at some point they're going to come on, knock on my door. They're going to come looking for my wife. Like if I'm run over by a truck on my bike, they're going to be like, well, we need some money. So if Melton is married, I'm guessing that's what happened. So listen, I don't know why I did a 10-hour show yesterday. He also did a show on Saturday. Again, he didn't work for like a week after Thanksgiving. He took like off Wednesday to Tuesday. So maybe this is like a makeup session. But the fact that last weekend Goldfall was like, hey, Melton, you're not on the lease or you're not on the deeds. My bad. He's not on the lease. But you're not on the deed or whatever Goldfall accused him of. And then Melton was like, no, I'm on it because I was there and I signed a bunch of papers. And Goldfall's like, well, you're not on it on the website. And then Melton, I guess, I didn't watch the whole show, but then Melton was like, I can't believe I'm not on it. I got to call the bank on Monday. So has he spoken about that? Probably not. Because I know he's focused on everybody else. Because that's what Melton does. Hey, look over there. Hey, don't pay any attention to me. Because he was trying to get off that topic. Goldfall was sticking it to him. Because we all know Goldfall's a Shuli. And you know how the Shulies are. Usually. Not the original Shuli. The original Shuli filed for bankruptcy when he had a job with Howard Stern. But Goldfold was like, hey, Melton, you're not on, I don't think you have anything to do with this deed. I don't think, and he's like, no, I was there at the signing. I signed a bunch of things. And Goldfold's like, you're not on it. And then the next time I watched, because I was doing stuff, Melton's like, I can't, and again, you can't pause Melton's show. So when I came back, Melton was like, I can't believe I got to look into it on Monday. Did he look into it? I bet he didn't. I bet he didn't because he was going to cover it, right? So I bet something's up. Obviously, if you marry Melton, you're desperate. So again, this is just how it goes. Ugly white women, they usually have jobs because no one's taking them out to dinner, to Applebee's and whatnot. So they save their money, and then they usually end up with a black dude. She ended up with a hunchback. That's who she ended up with, a hunchback. So she's probably like, all right, I'll pay for everything, but just be on the deed. So it looks, at least it looks like I'm actually have a husband. Maybe she did it to save face. Look, this is my husband. He's going to be on the deed too. It's all my money. I don't know. Like when I bought my car, I bought it. I have good credit. So again, am I like a fat white girl? Maybe. But again, if something happens to me, they're probably going to ask my wife because I didn't need my wife to get my car, etc. See what I'm saying? So I think if you're married, they want your husband on the deed. Did he put any money up? I would bet no. That he didn't put any money up. So that's why I asked my real estate guy, the guy that I know through the Dabbleverse, and he knows Melton and whatnot. So I was like, why is Melton?
Telephone number 24235.
All right, that was Addicted to Profits. So he texted me. This is David. Love to do the show this week. I got great shit on Melton. I've been saying this shit about him for like Mir said, for a year or more. Okay, so the reason I really didn't get involved with the Addicted to Profit stuff. Hello?
How you doing?
Am I in an echo? Okay, I guess it passed. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are you on air? Or
yeah, I'm on air.
Okay, do you want to send me the link, or you just want to do it this way? It's up to you.
Let's just do it this way because I don't want Melton. You know how Melton is. If you come on, he's going to focus on what you look like and what's refrigerator magnets you have. So let's just do it this way, and then we can do a follow up if we need. So I asked. I know this guy. He's again like. I got my accountant through the Dabbleverse. I got Pat Dixon, a lawyer, through the Dabbleverse. So there are people, and everybody thinks everybody who watches the show, anybody's on all the Dabbleverse, they'll live in their basement, but they don't. So anyway, this real estate guy I know basically said Melton could be on the deed and have no money, have no financial responsibility to this house that he bought with his troll wife.
Well, the thing that makes me suspicious when I look, and by the way, this wasn't like you have to stalk somebody or something. Like there's these like public domain websites.
Okay, hold on, David. Hold. You want David or Addicted to Profits?
I don't know. Call me David.
Okay, so David's been on the Melton warpath for a while, and I never really kind of bit on it just because I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole because, I know Melton's a slimy piece of shit. But when Goldfold, when I was watching the show, Melton show on Saturday, and Goldfall was like basically sticking it to Melton, and then Melton had basically was like, "No, I'm on the deed. No, I signed a thing." And Goldfall's like, "Well, you're not on the website. You're not on the website that I'm looking at. It doesn't show your name. It just shows your wife's name." Melton's like, "Well, I was there signing everything." So that's why. So and again, Goldfall is like, I guess, a fan of Melton's. So when I thought, okay, this is a fan of Melton saying you're not on the fucking deed or you're not on the website that I'm looking at as showing you as one of the owners. So that's when I was like got a little suspicious. And I know Melton's a slimy piece of shit. Also, I know that I'm thinking like, wow, he's doing a lot of fucking shows now. So that's where my head is at now. So I'm like, why is he did literally a 10-hour show yesterday, and now he's doing another show today. Usually if he does a long show like that, you learn from Red Bar, you take a fucking couple of days off. So I'm not saying he's doing like some kind of money grab now, but I don't think, and again, Melton's fans used to brag that he was rich because he had a fucking Lexus, and then he would go after you because he didn't like your car or he didn't like your refrigerator magnets. It was all so fucking laughable that I was like, fuck this fat fuck. So I'm guessing he has no money. He married this ugly fucking hideous woman who had some money, and she's like, let's go buy a house. And he's like, I don't have any money. She goes, I'll pay for it. You just be on the deed, because like I said, again, I'm not in real estate, blah blah blah. But I just know the banks usually, if they have their druthers, they'd rather have both married people on the deed, even if one person is paying for it. Correct? Or do you not know about that?
Here's my theory on it, is that number one, they were not married at the time, right? And that's a whole nother thing, because Melton would tell everyone he was married for a while, and then
that even makes more sense. That even makes more sense. That she would buy it, and when they weren't married, yeah, because that makes it all even like a more gray area.
Here's where I think it gets really gray: is that in 2019. He had to make a $30,000 settlement with the IRS because he had not paid back taxes on his small business taxes for like 6 years. So they bought the house in 2020. So if you all of a sudden make a deal with the IRS because you haven't paid your taxes for 6 years, and by the way, it's laughable that all you would own is $30,000 after 6 years. Like, what a fucking loser, right? But anyhow.
And these are all you're finding all these on like public domains?
Yeah, this is all public domain, and he had another kind of weird court case or something go against him in 2014 for $14,000. This is all on these public domain things. I'm like hiring private investigators or some crap. So anyhow, so I would think that was 2020 they bought the house. So a year removed from you having to make a deal with the IRS, I just don't see a bank giving you a loan, especially that was during COVID. A lot of people were out of work. I know the interest rates were low at the time, but I don't think they were just going to be throwing around loans to people. So that's my personal belief on it. So, and by the way, what's hilarious, the Melton admitted on that same show that you're talking about that he still owes that $30,000 and he hasn't settled with them yet. It's like, just pay the $30,000, dude.
Wait, who's he owed $30,000 to?
The IRS.
Oh, how is he not paying the $30,000 to the IRS? Don't they make you pay like almost immediately or set up some kind of plan?
He had a 5-year plan, and I just figured the money he made off logging Aaron and Steel Toe in 2023 and 2024. It would have been due in 2024. He just paid it off, but no, he said he's in a dispute with them. He said that on the show when he was kind of like
on Saturday.
On Saturday, or whatever it was. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, so he's admitting that he still owes the IRS money.
Yeah, he's admitting that he still owes the IRS money. Yeah, he did that on the show. So you can see the clip of him. Actually, if you watch John Wimbytu's podcast, I think even like has he's replaying the clip and commenting on Melton talking about that. So he's still admitting that. So maybe Melton feels like he's in the right, and he owes. He doesn't really have to owe them that money. Maybe he feels that they made an error. Because the IRS can make errors obviously. So I don't know, but like,
Yeah, but it's not gonna take years for them to correct the error or resolve the error. Like the IRS usually is like, give us the money now, or you're gonna have to set up some kind of payment plan. They're usually not very patient.
Kevin, when I moved to the Bahamas and I became a non-resident, which means I'm a resident in the Bahamas and there's no income tax here, so I'm living here income tax-free legally as a Canadian citizen, but a resident here. I remember I saw a brokerage account in the Bahamas, and they wrote my broker and said, okay, this guy still owes us 11K Canadian from like when he lived there. And I just told my broker, send him the 11K, and that's it. Boom, it was done. You know, so for him to like be fighting this for years and years and years, it's ridiculous. It's just like, and here's my issue with the whole thing. And I've told people, I really don't care about him with the mortgage or even not paying taxes. But don't be like, remember when he was attacking Aaron's steel toes, like that little thing he did with the lotteries and stuff, and he called me poor and all this stuff. It's like, dude, when you have this history of not paying taxes, you're not on the deed of your house, you don't have this, you don't have this, don't be going after people because you're the biggest locale loser of them all.
Yeah, I think that's his MO though. It's like when he went after Kate Meany's arms because he thought they were a little fat. And it's like, dude, you're a fucking. I mean, again, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe a guy's a hunchback. But he has a hunchback, so I mean, you just watch it, like. So I guess his theory is, the best defense is a good offense. But the reality is, so when did he buy the house?
It was, I think, if I'm correct, the exact time frame was December 2020. I think when I looked it up, like again, I haven't looked at that document in a while, but I think it was December 2020 was when whatever the mortgage got approved. And by the way, like you're talking about the deed and all that sort of thing, right? When I bought my house, my father was the guarantor of my mortgage, just in case something happened to me, like I got in an accident, maybe I couldn't make any money anymore, right? But he was not on the deed. He was the guarantor of the mortgage. So again, that does not mean that he got it. I personally believe he just didn't. And remember, too, Kevin, that 2020 period, that's when Red Bar ran him off the internet, and he was not making any money at that time frame. You know?
Yeah. Well, wait. So when you look up Melton, you saw that. How do you connect Melton to buying a house in 2020 if he's not on any of the documents?
Because it's in his wife's name. You can like if you go look up when you did that, when I did the background search, I did the Patrick Melton. I saw the one that was in Las Vegas, and then I was like, okay, that must be him. And then it also shows the other places he lived. It showed Tampa Bay, which he lived in, LA and New York. These are all the places he lived in. So I go, oh, that's him. And then it's like his residence was in Las Vegas, and then his wife's name shows up on the ownership of the house, and his name doesn't show up. And it does say like other whatever tenants or occupiers, and his name does show up, but it doesn't show up as a landowner of the deed or whatever, the house or property or whatever.
Okay, so she bought the house, and he is saying that she bought the house and he lives there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, like I have gone after him for years on Mir and Chow's show and other places about this, or done little super chats on it saying he doesn't know his house. So for him to be on his show like, oh my God, really? Oh, I remember signing the papers. Oh, this is all news to me. It's like, dude, people have been saying this. Like, it's not just me. It's been a couple other people for 2-3 years. And again, let me state again, I don't care that doesn't own it. I care that he'll call me poor. And guess what, Melton? When you were getting, or whatever, your fake wife was getting the mortgage, I was paying mine off. I paid off my mortgage in 2021. So it's just like, how can you just, like you said, he deflects and it's all projecting and whatever. And what he really is, in my opinion, you'll agree with this, he's just a bully. And he goes after you so hard and so whatever. And with me, when I was a fan of I should say, still a fan or whatever, but when I was super chatting all the time, I was at the time like, fuck this is not worth it anymore, right? So I just drop out, and he thinks that's some kind of W or something. It's like, and what he does too is when Red Bar was going after him, to me that was fair game because they're both whatever in that universe and podcasters. He goes after people that really can't defend themselves. They don't want to defend themselves. It's like totally cowardly.
No, I know. I mean, listen, I already know the guy, but when he went after Kate Meany, who's basically just trying to mind her own business because she sang karaoke at someone's wedding, and he went after her for like weeks at a time, and I'm like, dude, you're fucking hideous, and you're going after Kate Meany because you don't like the way she sings or she's not attractive enough. I mean, it's a fucking clown town, USA. So again, and the only reason I knew you had an axe to grind with the Hunchback. So that's why I was like, I didn't really get involved. But when I saw what was happening on Saturday, again, I don't know what triggered it. So when I was watching the show, and I know Goldfold, he don't like me. So that's why I was like, oh, it's interesting that Goldfold, but he kept sending Melton super chats or super tips and pointing out that he's not on the lease. I mean, he's not on the deed. He's not on anything. On the website that Goldfold was on, Melton's not showing up. And Melton was like, I could have sworn I signed all the documents. Remember they had the arrows, the green arrows, blah, blah, blah. So he was obviously fucking like, if he was watching himself, he would have been like, oh, this guy's obviously lying. It's like he pulled like a Chad or a Ray DeVito move where it's like, I could have sworn I signed all the documents, where he knew that he didn't pay a fucking dollar to for the down payment or for the mortgage because, like you said, he already owes the IRS, so he has no money. He married this desperate woman or whatever the fuck its scenario is. But anybody that marries Melton has got to be hideous. That's a fact. So he married this hideous hog. And then she's dealing with he doesn't, he's got a hunchback and no money. And, but then he goes after everybody, like my money's low. And there are a lot of losers here. I mean, that's a fact. There's plenty to go around. But the fact that he's always like pointing at, like he said, you were poor. He said, he says all this shit about me based on nothing, based on just somebody said in his Discord. I mean, he's a fucking losing piece of shit. But I know he did a 10-hour show yesterday. But I doubt he never covered it because he said he was going to go to the bank on Monday and clear everything up. So I didn't watch his 10-hour show. I didn't see any clips about it. So I'm sure Melton wants it to just be dropped. But it's like, but he's a fucking piece of shit, and he acts like he's better than everybody. He knows more than everybody, and he has no fucking money. I don't think he's Gino Bisconte broke, but I bet this hunchback wife of his is probably supporting them.
Like another thing I'd like to say about the whole like hypocrisy or another thing that he does that really annoys me is that if you call him like a pedo, he goes crazy about it. There's literally a 3-minute clip of him. But
it doesn't matter because we already have a pedo. So that's what I say. I always said that to Stevie Lou. It doesn't matter if you can make accusations all you want. We already have him. His name is ISO. He's in jail for being a child pornographer. So unless you can top that, you know what I mean? It's like saying Stevie Lou has kind of a hunchback. We already have a hunchback. His name is Melton. So unless you actually have the goods on Melton with all the pedo stuff, I'd rather not discuss it because it's just, it looks petty. Like this is real. Like once Goldfold got involved with the accusations or according to him, proof from this website that Melton's not on it. There's no proof that Melton is on the deed. There's no proof that Melton had anything to do with buying this property, but he accuses everybody else of being fucking broke, is my point. So there's no proof. There's no justification. I'm just saying nobody's found a document that shows that Melton put any money down for the house, that he's on the deed, that he had anything to do with the purchase of this house. He's living there. Because he, like you said, when he met his hunchback wife, it was probably during COVID, and she was desperate, and he was broke. So he's like, all right, let's just shack up.
Well, like another thing too, you're talking about that documentation. Yeah, it's okay, Melton. Show us your down. Like I don't really care about being this kind of petty as well. But yeah, if you have, show us the transfer of the down payment. Like in the Bahamas, you have to put 30% down. So I had to put 6 figures down.
No, if they're
I could show you the fucking wire.
Okay, but it's, I'm not making it about you. I'm saying if Melton had something, he could show it. So he has nothing, and then he pretend on Saturday like, oh, he's so confused, like he pulled a Ray DeVito, like, oh, I'm so confused, I'm not on it. What? Did I did a GoFundMe like when Ray did a illegal GoFundMe after his phantom accident on I-80? When Sheckler pointed out, Ray was like, "Oh, I don't know when I was in that accident. I think it was 2012 or 2018. I don't know." So that's what Melton was doing. Melton's like, I could have sworn I was at the bank and I was signing all the fucking legal documents. And where in reality, he knew he didn't put any money down, and he was just there because he was her husband.
By the way, Melton did the same thing with the legal fundraisers. I'll send you the clip. I'll send it to you on your website via email, right? You can watch it. So Red Bar just covered it. So he had fans calling in a show. This is way back when he first had the problems with the IRS. He used to set up websites to do fundraisers, like kind of like GoFundMe, but he would do it kind of like Super Tips. He always wants to circumvent the system, right? Because it's greedy fat fuck who wants to make as much money as he can, right? So he would do that and do like a fundraiser because he owed the IRS. If he did a GoFundMe, because that's actually legitimate, the IRS would just seize the funds, right? Say, okay, motherfucker, like, this is what you owe us. So he would do that through fans, and then the fans would send him the money so he wouldn't have to fucking pay the IRS. I'm telling you, man, this is what the fucking shit this guy used to do.
Wait, how is he raising money from the fans?
He would set up websites that were like GoFundMes, but independent websites.
Oh.
GoFundMe.
Oh, so
he would get the money sent to a fan, and then the fan would send it to him.
Oh, so because then it didn't have to be legit. GoFundMe, they want to know they it's kind of illegal to set up a illegal. I mean, if you set up something illicit through GoFundMe, they'll either shut it down or something. But you're saying he set up his own GoFundMe so he could do like these sham situations where he could raise money to pay off the IRS. Is that what you're saying?
No, not to pay off the IRS, just to get the money to, I don't know, to live off, to do.
And what was and or what guys would he be raising money for?
I don't know. Remember, he was going to Scotland to do a show. Like he was probably, I know, because you never know. He's never a real comic, you know that. So he wasn't making any money. Maybe it was just living expenses. Like another thing that you have to understand.
And what year was this? What year was this?
This was probably like 2014 to 2016. That kind of time frame, you know. He got big into crypto. He's big into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 500. So this is what a fucking loser he is, right? He found a way to be bullish or whatever. You know, I do investments for a living. Something of $500, and it's like basically what 90,000 now. And he really didn't make any money off it because Red Bar said at the time, he said Melton is not investing in Bitcoin. He's doing a Bitcoin podcast. He was doing a Bitcoin podcast on top of the comedy podcast. And he's just cashing it out and spending it because that's what he's like. And yes, he did because, if you were buying something at 500 and 10 years later it went to 90,000, you'd be pretty rich, and he ain't rich, So, like, this is, anyhow, whatever. He's just a loser, low-cal. It's funny, one of the comments one of the guys made on the show on Saturday about me, one of the guys was like, well, Dick and Profits won this one, but you're winning 52 to 1. I'm like, what? 52 to 1? Like, he has an ugly wife. He has a hunchback. He has no money. He owes the IRS money. How does this guy? He has no W's.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. He goes to his Discord, and they're like, "Oh, Melton, you're the greatest. You invented super tips. You must be doing great. You have a Lexus. You have a hunchback. You're doing great, Melton. You're a leader. You're our hero." And Melton's like, "Yeah, I'm their leader. They follow me. I mean, it's fucking pathetic." But again, Melton's always going after other people, and then Melton on Saturday was like all confused by Goldfold. He was like, "I could have sworn," like classic Ray DeVito. "I could have sworn that I was there at the signing, and they gave me a pen, and I picked it up, and I was signing all the documents. They had arrows in green, and it was so exciting. And then me and my hunchback wife went to Applebee's, and we got the 3-for-1 deal. Oh, it was we had the best day of our life." And she's probably like, this fucking loser. But again, if anybody that marries Melton, it's got to be the most hideous, disgusting white woman anyone's ever seen, because allegedly she's white, because we saw I don't know if that was an act out that he proposed on stage. And so unless that's a fake too. But in any case, you're saying everything Melton does is fraudulent.
Well, I don't know everything. I just think that like
Should I contact the IRS about him? How do I find out if Melton knows the IRS, and should I tell them about the super tips, because I'm sure he's not paying taxes on the super tips. That's why he set up. That's why he set up the super tips, because I have to pay taxes on super chats because they go through YouTube. So I'm sure he's not paying taxes on super tips. That's primarily why he set it up, because he don't want to pay taxes on super chats. So should I contact the IRS? Is there a way to contact them?
I don't know, man. I'm not American. I'm Canadian. I live in the Bahamas. We don't even pay income tax here. So, but what I can tell you
is that why you have all those magnets? Because you're Canadian?
Yeah, and like it's a big deal for us to travel anywhere, especially with the dollar so crappy, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, what I'm going to go on with Melton in terms of what you're saying with that, when I saw super tips, I was like, yeah, that's just like the fundraisers on the website. I'm like, he's always got to find a way to like make the money or whatever, circumvent whatever. He don't want to pay the 30% to YouTube. He's got to make all the money himself. Maybe it's for the purpose of not paying taxes. I don't know. But he's always got to try to do that, right? Like some weird, like scheming, scamming. Like, you know, I am Jewish on my mom's side, right? And I know your whole thing with Shulies. Like Melton's greedier than any Shuli ever met in my life.
Yeah. So listen, I know the super tips. Listen, with the super chats, it's for YouTube. I got a gigantic 1099. With the super tips, you know, it goes through Stripe. So Stripe might send you a 1099, but that's if you making money off super tips. Does Melton have to declare what he's making? Probably not, I'm guessing. So I'm going to look into this, because I haven't really done a deep dive on Melton, but I'm going to do a deep dive on because I want to get audited by the IRS anyway. So I want to contact them. I want to get audited myself, and then I'm gonna rat out Melton. And I'm gonna say, like, listen, you can watch this guy's show. You can watch a regular show where they do super chats, and then you can watch a show where they do super tips. I'm sure this guy's not paying any taxes on it, because I want this fat fuck to fucking go to IRS fucking jail, and that his hunchback wife maybe will marry a black dude. Have some self-respect to marry a black dude, because this is what fat white hogs usually end up with, is black dudes. But instead, she fucked up. She married a hunchback.
Well, give her a break, Kevin. She's a zero and he's a negative million. So, you know, she did okay, or he did okay. You know,
she's a what?
She's a 0 out of 10, and he's a negative million.
Oh, you're right. You're right. On a scale, so she's better than him. You're saying.
Yeah. So I guess he did okay, but and then there's rumors that whatever, she's a little slow. I don't know if that's true. Whatever.
Yeah, well, they get parking because of that.
Well, another thing too is, why do you like? I know, like, you know, I know there's an old show where your wife was on it years ago. Obviously, with how toxic everything is now, you would never have her on again. But like, it's like I've seen pictures of you and your wife together and stuff. It's like with Melton and her too. It's like, okay, like this whole thing with the mortgage. You think if it, like she could just be talking in the background, she doesn't have to be on the show and say, "Oh no, he owns part of the house." Why do you never hear that?
Yeah, why? Like I said, why didn't she call in? I understand why she doesn't want to be on the show, because she's probably hideous and she doesn't want to get drawn into it. But why didn't she call into the show on Saturday to explain what happened with the mortgage and at the bank signing? And I was like, because Melton has a hotline to call into, and people were calling in. So why didn't his wife call in? Even if she's at work, can't she take a fucking hunchback break and call in and go, here's what happened? And so Goldfall can be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But again, nowhere to be found. She didn't call in on Saturday. She doesn't show up at any of the Hackmanias. And why would she not? Everybody else brings their wife. Even guys who have mom wives, they bring their wives. But Mel's like, no, I can't. And my wife. So again, it's very, the whole thing's very suspicious. And now he's probably cheating the IRS.
Well, again, like I think that her not showing up to anything, like you think that if your husband was making and was like, oh, do you want to meet some of my fans for dinner? Like, say, way after the show, like she'd want
Listen. I understand. I understand she's probably hideous, and it's not a good look if she shows up, and maybe she is slightly retarded. So maybe he's embarrassed by her. I get it. I get all that. But again, he goes after other people, and other people's wives and everybody else's situation. And then he does an event in Vegas. They live in Vegas, according to court documents and legal documents. And but she never shows up at the events. Interesting. But Tukey brings his whore wife, and Carl brings his mom wife. So that's across the country. So where the fuck is the hunchback's wife?
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't blame her for one reason, because do you think having dinner with Scholes, Buckman, and Flimsy would be like the top?
Okay, you don't have to give her an alibi. I mean, why does Carl's wife go? I mean, it's the same people Carl's wife's gonna meet. So why would she go all the way across the country? And then Melton's wife can't even take a fucking Uber, in case she doesn't have her own car. Maybe she's too retarded to drive. So, Melton has the big Lexus. He's doing great, according to DK. And but where the fuck is Melton's wife? Where the fuck is she going to be there this April? Is that part of the Chad Zuma contract? Chad should demand that in his contract that Melton's wife has to be there, or else he's not going.
And here's another thing to note about those losers. Imagine this happened to Steel Toe. Steel Toe don't own his house. Oh, Steel Toe didn't pay the IRS for 5 years. Those retards, Clubfoot Carl.
Yep. Or Chad Zumach. How about if Chad Zumach? I mean, Melton said Chad went to his uncle's house in Cleveland. It's like, okay, where's the proof of that? But we have proof about Melton not being on the mortgage and not having any money. Probably cheating the IRS. And Melton's like, no. Chad went to my uncle's house in Cleveland. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, where does your uncle live? And how did Chad know? And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all fucking clown town. That the one ghoul lives on the same street as the other ghoul. I mean, these fucking losers, they like get in line to out-lose each other. It's spectacular.
By the way, did you see, I'm segueing a bit here. Did you see Carl drop off the show the other night or the other day?
No.
He dropped off the Piggy show. That Win by Two guy getting covered it because I would never watch that garbage, right? But supposedly because they were kind of just shitting on Carl for 2-3 hours, and Carl actually said, "Guys, I'm kind of thin-skinned. I'm out of here. I'm not putting up with this after 4 hours, guys." Basically making fun of him.
Well, was that what?
Makes fun of Stuttering John, makes fun of Chad, makes fun of anyone, and someone kind of goofs on him. I think Kiki had a story where she said that he was all upset because you called him a clubfoot or something. Right? So
I'm just stating facts. I've never seen his feet, but people said he has 2 club feet. And I've seen his wife and again, Carl said she's 10 years older. So he has a mom wife. I know that. I don't make up stuff. I just go with what I'm presented with.
And my issue again, why are you being so thin-skinned? These guys want to go after everyone, but if anyone goes after them, they get all thin-skinned. And another thing I think the proof is in the pudding too. You're talking about that Saturday show. If this was really just a clerical error, you think of your mouth and you just talk about, it's some screw up. I'll go on Monday and fix it up. You talk about it for 2 minutes. You don't go on for 30 minutes or having that nervous, guilty laugh.
Yeah, that Ray DeVito. I could have sworn I got sideswiped by a truck on I-80. I could have sworn. And if anybody saw it, anybody watching the show, any of the 34 people watching the Ray DeVito show, if you saw the guy hit me, then can you notify me, please? And it's the same thing Melt was saying. Goldfoot's like, no, you're not involved with the mortgage. You're not on the deed. You're not on anything. Melt's like, I could have sworn. My hunchback wife said I was on it. She swore up and down that I was on it when she gave me my ice cream cone. Fucking losers. All right, good job, Addicted.
Okay, man. Okay. The last thing about his wife I'd like to say too was he was telling, like I said, everyone for years that he was married, right? And then again, on these, I said this too 2 years ago. I said, Melton's not married. Again, on these websites, there was no record of their marriage, right? So then basically people actually started calling him out for that. So then they eloped, but they had no. They didn't have a honeymoon. They didn't do nothing. They just went to whatever this town hall and eloped because basically he was getting heat from fans saying, "Hey, dude, you're not really married. Stop calling her your wife."
And so he's not. But he is married now.
He's married now, but for I'd say a year or two when he was saying that he was married, he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who's gonna marry that fucking loser? But I guess he tricked that ugly, slow lady that he married into it. But I mean, slow adults make a lot of weird decisions. That's why they shouldn't be allowed to drive.
I'm sure they have a fabulous sex life. Now I'll have to go vomit after even thinking about it.
All right, God bless. I'll send you the link next time.
Okay, no problem, man. Take care.
All right, bye.